Good morning, and welcome to the Presidential Information Channel. I am Abby.
And I'm Molly. Today, we will talk about how to become the next President of the United States of America.
That's right. We will be discussing all the requirements and all the steps that a person has to go through to become a president.
First things first, there are certain requirements that are needed to be met if you want to become the president.
In the U.S. Constitution, it states that any person who wishes to become a president that then need to be at least 35 years of age, a natural-born citizen of the U.S., and has been a resident for 14 years.
If any of these requirements have not been met, then your presidential campaign will not begin.
If there is no complications, then you can take the first step to become a president.
Correct. The first thing to remember is that there are many people who want to be president, just like you. So that means there are many people who have the same kind of idea on how the government should be run, just like you. These people who share the similar ideas then become part of a political party. This is where the primaries and the caucuses take place.
A caucus is where party members select a candidate through arguments and votes, and a primary is where party members vote for someone who they think will represent them the best in the general election.
Candidates from the political parties then campaign through the entire country so they can win the favor of other party members, which lead us into the second step, the national conventions.
Each party holds a national convention to select their presidential nominee. National convention is something like an election or meeting where each party votes for the person who they would like to be the president.
After each president candidate is selected, they choose their running mate, or as we know them, the vice president. The two then run around the entire country advertising some of their ideas for presidency to win the support of the general population.
Which means you shake a few hands, make a couple dozen commercials, argue with the other party, and even kiss a few babies.
After that, everyone living in the United States has to go through the general election process. This means that the people vote for the president and the vice president that they want to win.
When people cast their vote, they are actually giving their votes to people called electors. Electors are members of the Electoral College.
Yes, and that would lead us to the final step of the election process, leaving it all up to the Electoral College.
In the Electoral College system, each state has their certain number of their electors based on their representation in Congress.
Each elector then casts one vote following the general election, and the candidate who gets more than half of the votes becomes the new president.
Yes, once one of the potential presidents gets more than 270 votes, they become president.
The new president and the new vice president will then be inaugurated in January of the following year in Washington, D.C.
For example, how President Obama got elected, he traveled around the country with his running mate Biden and won the general election in the Electoral College.
Then, after 4 years, the whole process will begin again. But for now, we'll have to sign off this segment. I am Molly.
And I'm Abby. Have a good afternoon and tune in next time on the Presidential Information Channel for more exciting news.
See you then.